Sadly, I'm not able to be at Finchcocks today, but this is my other office. This is Twyford School near Winchester, where I spend most of my time teaching 8 to 13-year-olds. One of the great pleasures of my job is accompanying the children in musical performances. I must accompany 600 solo pieces each year in exams or concerts, and I accompany on the organ each morning in chapel and 4 choir rehearsals each week. My job as an accompanist is to do all I can to make the performance sound great. The first thing we have to sort out is where the soloist will stand. Generally speaking, it's good to ensure a triangle of eye contact: soloist, accompanist, and examiner or audience. This position works brilliantly for woodwind, brass and singers. The best position for string players is slightly different. Violinists often like to stand here, as the violin speaks in this direction. Cellists and bass players have to sit or stand where I can see the full movement of their bow. When we're all in position, the rehearsal process begins. The soloist may well be nervous, so rather than plunging straight into a run-through of the piece, I always ask them to play me the opening few bars of their piece just to let me know the speed. This puts the ball in their court without too much pressure, and of course does let me know the speed of the piece. This is a good time to ask if everything's okay with the reed, or with the tuning, or the height of the chair. I take a slightly different approach when I'm accompanying singers. They often like to start the rehearsal with a few vocal warm-ups, so it's good to know a few staple warm-ups. This is probably the most common warm-up that singing teachers use. 1 to 5 and back. The piano part is chords 1, 5 and 1. Then I play a pivot chord, in this case A flat, to take us up a semitone. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. This will put the singer at ease, and it's a great way for me to judge whether I've got a timid little mouse singer or a flamboyant budding opera star. We now have to play the pieces through, perfectly synchronized. I watch for different cues depending on the instrument. When I'm accompanying strings, I'll keep my eye on the bow. An experienced string player will give a good cue. But beginners may well have been asked by their teacher to start with the bow on the string. This can be tricky. When I'm accompanying wind, brass or singers, I watch for the breathing. The breathing is only a clue because the various woodwind instruments have varying amounts of delay before the onset of the note. The flute sounds almost immediately, but it can take a moment for a clarinet to sound. After the first run-through of a piece, it's fine to make suggestions, so long as you don't interfere with the player's technique or what the teacher has told them. So do talk about dynamics, do talk about rallentandos, do talk about ways you can give each other cues, but try to avoid talking about bow direction or tonguing or slurring or particular fingering choices. So here are 3 characters and 3 different approaches to accompanying. Johnny is a nervous beginner taking grade 1 flute. He doesn't really know the difference between crotchets and minims yet. He's more concerned about playing the right notes. In the limited time I have to practice with Johnny, I won't be able to fix this problem, so my job is to keep with him, rushing in places, slowing down in places, but essentially creating a nice, warm, sonorous cushion for his performance in the hope that we will trick the examiner. a good clarinet player, but she gets flustered in performance, which makes her mouth dry and her breathing shallow. She knows exactly how the music should go, but it doesn't always come out right. In Mary's case, I will play with a really strict rhythm, even when she goes wrong, because she will not want to lose the beat. She'll come in again soon enough. The worst case scenario is if I start waiting for her and then she starts waiting for me. This is Annabelle. She's taking grade 8 violin and she is a superstar. She can play. The challenge here is that she's playing César Franck's violin sonata and the piano part is really hard. I'm going to need to have the music at least 4 weeks in advance to practice, and we'll need several rehearsals. Annabelle has a clear idea of speeds, dynamics and the overall shape of the piece, but she's also flexible and will play with the music when there are accents, different degrees of legato, rallentandos. I need to watch very carefully and be fully involved in a conversation while we play. This is going to be fun and very rewarding. I always talk through the final performance routine with the soloist, what to expect on the day. If we're working towards an exam, I'll show them the warm-up rooms downstairs, I'll show them where the examiner will sit. If we're practicing for a concert, I'll ask them to practice introducing their piece and taking a bow afterwards. I hope you've enjoyed this series of intermediate videos. Our intermediate courses at Finchcocks are always popular and are a great way to meet up with other piano players. We hope to see you at Finchcocks soon.